And welcome to Mike Ferry TV. It's the week of January 28th. It's almost hard to say to you January 28th, which means 1 month of the 12 basically is gone. How have you done so far? What I've discovered with a lot of our clients got off to a very slow start this year. I'm not exactly sure why, but so many of our clients got off to a slow start. They didn't start till the 8th, the 10th, the 15th of the month. Hey, listen. The days, the weeks, the months go by fast. Let's get you moving quickly. Okay, we've talked the last 2 weeks about what I call the characteristics or mindsets of the millionaire agents. As I've said to you, we are so lucky as a company to have attracted so many people that make over $1 million a year. Now, I want to share something with you. Many of our coaching competitors have people that make $1 million a year or more. But those are people selling $3, $5, $7, $10 million homes. Our client base are regular people, just people that sell regular homes, average sales price, whatever that is in your neighborhood. Yeah, we have agents that sell the high-end homes, but 98% of our agents just sell what we call average sales price properties. So to make $1 million a year, you got to do a lot of deals. So our specialty is in helping an agent do a lot of deals. If you're watching Mike Ferry TV for the first time, you're in for some fun. If you've watched us time and time again, you know that the aim is to increase your productivity. The number of listings you take and the number of listings you have sell and the number of buyer-controlled sales. So we're going to continue. We've covered points 1 through 20 over the last 2 weeks. Let's look at point 21 in the mindset characteristics of a millionaire. Here's the critical point, number 21. They're always looking for the next deal. They're always looking for the next deal. Okay, here's what happens to most agents. You do a deal, you're excited. You have a right to be excited. You take a listing, aha. You make a sale, yay. You have a listing sold, oh my gosh, it's so great. And I agree with you, yaha and whoop-de-doo and great is important. However, remember, if you're celebrating all the time, you're not going to do the next deal soon. See, the key to success is the repetition, the momentum you build. The millionaires are looking for the next deal after they do the last one. It's not uncommon that they do, 15, 20 deals per month, listing sold, buyer-controlled sales. Now, some of you say, oh my gosh, I did 7 deals last year, and you said they do 15 to 20 a month? Very, very common, because I refer to them as hunters. They're hunting for the next deal. We have an agent in the Midwest. The lady does probably 270 deals a year, probably close to 70 years old. I mean, she's incredible as an agent. We have an agent not too far from her that does the same amount of business. The lady does all of her business from her database, past client centers of influence, 270 deals out of her database. She has 7,000 plus names in her database. The agent 100 miles away, been in the business same length of time, does the same number of business, never, ever, ever calls his past client centers of influence because he says, I'm a hunter. He prospects every day for new people. I suggested one day they get married. They could do 1,000 deals a year. Well, the characteristic of both these agents is they're looking for the next deal. They're not celebrating the last one. Oh yeah, they're happy they got it. They are very happy to do a good job for a buyer and seller. But what they're really doing is looking for the next deal. That's point 21. 22, and I've said this for years, these top producers start every day at 0. Why do they do that? Because they don't live on past performances. They can't live on past performances and expect to get into the future. A couple of weeks ago at the production retreat, I said to the audience, okay, you have to create the mindset that when you wake up in the morning, I have no leads, have no prospects, have no listings, have no pendings, I have no money in the bank. I'm hungry every day to go out and find a deal. They start every day at 0. And then I said to the audience, there are some people in the room that this is pretty easy for them to do because they don't have any leads, any listings, any prospects, any sales, any money in the bank. Folks, if you have the mindset, or as my friend Neil Schwartz and I talked about at lunch after the production retreat, if you have success and you hide it from yourself, you have to go find more success. Yes, I want you to have a lot of listings. I want you to have a lot of pendings, a lot of sales, a lot of closings, but you got to start every day at zero because you can't live on past performances because that is your past. Number 23. This one sounds strange. These millionaires, they work harder and smarter than their competition. Okay, skills allow you to have confidence. Skills allows you to be smart when you're working. The harder part is something most people don't realize. Selling real estate is a hard job. It's an easy job if you want to do 5, 6, 7 transactions a year. But if your goal is to do 25, 50, 75, 100 plus, it's hard work. You've really got to think about what you're doing every day. So you're going to put in more energy, more time, you're going to have more focus, and you're going to be a lot smarter than the competition that's working against you. Because what makes the millionaire is they're harder in their approach and smarter in their approach simultaneously. Number 25. I love this one. They're not afraid of confrontation, and they use it whenever necessary. So they have a listing that they're trying to get, and the seller says, well, we want $595 for that property. Because the sellers still think that it's April of 2017. And it's January of 2019 because the prices were higher then. The market was going up. Today it's not. So the agent says, I know you want $595, but however, at that price, are you willing to sacrifice the fact that you want to move and develop your future with your kids in another house? Well, why would we have to sacrifice it? Because it's not going to happen. You're not going to make the sale. We're not going to have this transaction take place. Okay, watch. Asking questions is a form of confrontation. All we want to do is have you learn how to ask questions, because questions with listening creates a level of confrontation, and the high producing people are very willing to confront the buyer, the seller, and themselves to make sure they keep moving forward with their transaction. Number 26, this is a fun one. They read people through good questions, and they listen with intention and integrity and intensity to the answers. On Thursday and Friday, after the production retreat was done, I did 2 days, along with Ron and Sabrina, 2 days of what we have as coaches training. We do a lot of training with our coaches. And I spent a lot of time with the coaches helping them understand the value, if you're a coaching client, of asking you a lot of questions. And why? Because they can read you like a book if you respond to the questions that are asked. If you ever notice that all the MFO scripts are simply question-based? Because they are. Most of our competitors have pages and pages of scripts, these long conversations. And our scripts are very short to the point because we ask questions. Great salespeople ask, number one, and number two, they listen with intensity, because that's how they find out what they have to do to satisfy the needs of that client. Number 27, the millionaires are lifelong learners. Education is the name of the game. 10, 15 years ago, at the Superstar Retreat, I did something fun. I did some research, and I thought, how long does it take to become a medical doctor, just a general practitioner? So I did some research on that. Gosh, after 8 years of college, they'll spend another 3 or 4 years in residency learning how to actually do the job. How long does it take to become a commercial airplane pilot? 5,000 or 6,000 hours in the cockpit of a plane, and then train to fly the jet or whatever you're going to fly. You know, how long does it take to become an attorney? It's going to take a good solid 6 years, maybe 8 years, just to be able to pass the exam. How long does it take to become a professional golfer? Well, unless you start at age 5 and try to become a pro at age 20, if you start at age 10, it may take 12, 15 years. See, they're lifelong learners to become professional, because education is the name of the game. Folks, look at our website. Look at our schedule of events. Attend 2 or 3 events this year. If you're in the Greater Toronto area, in that part of Canada, go to our production retreat in April. If you're in management and leadership, go to our management retreat in April in Orlando. If you are a great manager broker on the West Coast, go to our management retreat in May. If you're really dedicated to your business, go to our Superstar retreat in July. If you're on the East Coast and you want to go to our production retreat, go to our October production retreat. You got to be involved in the information that creates the attitude of productivity. Millionaires are lifelong learners. Number 28, they're very coachable. And yet they're very opinionated as to what they have to do. I've been very lucky over the course of our 31 years of doing coaching now to coach a lot of the best brokers, best managers, and many of the best agents in real estate. And they're coachable. If I say, here's what I want you to do, they don't go, well, I don't want to, and it's not my style, and it's not what we do here, and you don't understand my market, and you don't understand the area, and you don't understand the company I work for, all the crap that people have in their heads as to why they can't succeed. Coachable means you're going to respect and respond to what the coach asks. 29, they don't let complacency run their lives. I've talked about this to you for years. Complacency is when you're satisfied with the status quo. You're satisfied with what you have. You've got it all figured out. I call it the disease of the human spirit. It's where you're saying, I have my house, I have my car, I have my savings, we take our little vacation, I have a nice income, I'm very comfortable. Folks, there's more to having what you have. No, Mike, you're just talking about making more money. You got it, because money provides you and your family with those things you want to improve the quality of your life. Maybe it's your grandchildren's college education or your kids' college education. Maybe it's a nice vacation for you and your spouse. Improving the quality of your lifestyle by the home that you live in. When complacency runs your life, you stop growing and learning. And number 30, high resiliency the millionaires have. They bounce back fast. Things go wrong in the course of a day, a week, a month. They have good days, they have bad days, and things go a little haywire, but they bounce back fast. How long do you dwell on the no? How long do you dwell on the deal that fell apart? How long do you dwell on the listing that you lost? How long do you dwell on you didn't achieve the goal you set for the month of January? How fast can you respond? How fast can you rebound? Because that is the name of the game. So starting next week, we're going to be talking about a lot of the things I discussed at the production retreat. I think you're going to find it interesting. And I hope most importantly that you've had a good January, that you're planning on having a big 2019 in spite of any market conditions taking place. You're going to have a great 2019. Why? Because, and I said this at the production retreat, as the market takes a turn down, which it's taking a turn down in most parts of the country, the number of agents participating day to day as competitors is dropping faster than the number of transactions is dropping. Your chance, because you're good at what you do for succeeding, is probably the highest it's ever been. I'm excited for you. We're anxious to help you succeed at a higher level. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for today.